Hi, friends. Chris Kelly here. Another week, another conversation about what is going on in the market. A really good broker agent friend of mine put out an email. I get his emails, and uh, it was a good perspective. And it's some things that I've talked about in a lot of different ways, but he talks a little bit about the market going from 90 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour. Though you're still going 60, it feels slow after going 90 for a couple of years. And I thought that was a really appropriate way to talk about what's going on. So, um, anyway, before we get any further into that, let's take a quick look at stats. I'll back this out. You can see the sold listings being low. I mean, this is the pause in the market playing out. So, these are sales that happened in June and really May and June, right? That closed in July and beginning of August here. Um, so that's what that is. Listing inventory, new listings to the market this week have come up a little bit from last week. We're still off of these nutty, frenetic numbers, which we will be for the foreseeable future, but we're not dramatically off of these numbers. So, I've talked a lot about, the comparison to 2019. Here's a big difference though. Well, before we get into that, I'll just come down here and you can see again the average and median days on the market's kind of hovering very slightly higher than it was. We were at 5 and we were at, I think, like 16, 17. So it hasn't moved dramatically, but it has moved. And this has not come down. I mean, it went down for a week and then didn't stay there. So, this has remained high, though this got up to almost 6 or just over 6, and this got up really close to 7. So they kind of hovered back and have kind of lived in this area right here. So, but I've 20 there is a big fundamental difference between 2019 and now. There's been a pause in the market in the year of 2022. When those interest rates moved, people go, hey, wait a minute. How's this going to play out? What do we do? What's the way forward? Um, and that's, and that's kind of back to, what I've said before about trusted advice. That's our job, if done properly, is to provide trusted advice. How do we navigate this? Hey, it's the right time in our life to be doing something here. What's the best way forward? So, part of trusted advice is saying, well, here's what's worse about the market than it was, and here's what's better about the market. Certainly the upside right now, it's easier to be a buyer. It's not as nutty. You don't have to give away your firstborn. You don't have to waive appraisal every time. You don't have to waive inspections. None of that nonsense. You don't have to put huge earnest money up and make it non-refundable without any conditions. I mean, there were some weird things that happened in the last couple of years that really are not normal in our world. So those things are not present on the buy side anymore. Of course, on the sell side, that's that 90 to 60. We're still selling real estate. We're still moving along. It's just not happening every time with every property in 4 days. Okay, but we looked at the numbers, the median and average numbers. They haven't dramatically moved. Here's another interesting nugget. Let's flip over to this one. Market action. Let's look at the right one though. There we go. So market action, we have gone up in 2 months. In 3 months, we've gone from under 1 month of inventory to 2 months of inventory. You can see that in the last 2 years, the last time we were really at 2 months inventory was the middle of 2020. And that's right after the market hit, we had a pause right here. But not a lot of new inventory was coming to market. And then this is where things really ramped up and got crazy. And you see the inventory numbers got down into sub ones, which is absurd. Never in my career has that happened. So, really the 90 to 60 analogy is more like 150 to 60. So, 2 months of inventory historically is insanely low. But it's high. It's twice as high as it was 90 days ago. Here's an interesting perspective. Let me grab the right graphic. Here's one from a couple years ago that I posted. You can see what inventory numbers were in 2018 and into 2019. They were all north of 2 and even hovered around 3 at times. So again, that notion that, well, we feel a lot more like 2019, it absolutely plays out in the numbers. So again, the fundamental difference though is that we didn't have that pause in 2019. The market was just chugging along. Well, we had a pause in the market here over a block of time when interest rates have risen and people are trying to figure out how to navigate that. Interesting nugget about interest rates. Here's, let's see if I can reduce. Yeah, here we go. Here's the average interest rates on a 30-year fixed over the last, say, 14 years? So back in '08, here's where we were. I mean, here's where money lived for the last decade plus. We got pretty insane here. And really, this number between 20 and 21 got down into the high 2s, really, which, again, that's just insanity. This number right here, that's historically way more normal. So that we are living in this 5 to 6 world right now, historically not abnormal at all. But it feels awful when you're used to going 150 miles an hour and all of a sudden we're going 60 or 70 or whatever it is. So I just thought that was an interesting perspective. And again, the whole point of what I do, if done well, is to provide good insight, is to provide trusted advice. What's going on in your life? What are your circumstances? How can I best get you from here to here, whatever that is for you, considering your circumstances. So, and I think every good agent out there that really has a client base and cares about their clients behaves similarly. The problem with the marketplace, when it's been so good for so long, no offense, but there's frankly a lot of agents that live transactionally and really are there to do the deal and really not there to take care of the relationship long term. And that's unfortunate. And those folks tend to come and go. I'll just put it that way, as markets ebb and flow. And we're about to be in an ebb where real estate membership is concerned, agent membership. So if you have a great agent relationship, lean into it. They're there to help you. If you don't, you need one, I'm here to help you. Every time, always. So anyway, until the next time, hope you and yours have a fantastic weekend.